Wide receiver. What do you think when you hear that word? You may think of a tall, fast guy who's able to catch a football really well. You may think of some of the greatest to ever play the position like Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson. You also might think of some of the greatest plays to ever happen in NFL history. But for the majority of people, what is the first word that they associate with wide receiver?
You know, wide receiver divas.
Calling out his wide receiver, he's high maintenance. Handle divas.
Now, throw it deep and keep these pampered guys happy.
We've all worked with somebody like this. They're really talented. Maybe they're loud, they're needy, a little bit of a diva.
Why are the divas the wide receivers?
That is right. When people say the word wide receiver, the immediate thought that they have is the diva position. Today I'm here to explain why most receivers have this so-called diva personality, as well as explaining why I believe that wide receiver is the worst position in sports. Yo, what's good everybody? Hope that you guys are having a super blessed day and welcome back to Sharpe Sports. And that is right, you guys heard me correctly. I believe, a former wide receiver myself, that wide receiver is the worst position, not in football, but in all of sports. Basketball, hockey, baseball, soccer, you name it, it's the worst position of all of them. What do you mean, Marcus? Wide receiver is so cool. You get to catch long touchdown passes and you get to go out there and make guys miss. And let me explain. There is one thing that is consistent with every other sport and every other position in those sports. If you do your job, you are making a positive impact towards helping your team win. Now, this is quite easy to see in non-team sports. In tennis, if you go out there and you're better than the other guy, you're going to win. In golf, if you're better than your other opponents, you're going to win. In boxing, same thing. It's very easy to see how when you make a positive impact, you're helping yourself go out there and win. Okay, but obviously we're not talking about non-team sports. We're talking about team sports right here. Let's take basketball, for example. If you run the play the way that it is designed, you are either going to be assisting on the play or the one that is scoring. Let's take baseball, for example. To me, baseball is a solo sport disguised as a team sport because at any given moment, it's really just 1v1, the hitter versus the pitcher. So it's quite easy to see. If you go out there and you hit the ball, you're obviously helping your team win. And if you're the pitcher and you strike out the guy or you make them pop up or ground out, you're helping your team win. What about in football? For my offensive lineman, even if the rest of your line is trash, if you go out there and you block the guy that you were designed to block, you did your job in helping the team win. Let's take the quarterbacks, for example. If you have a terrible offensive line and a terrible receiving core, hey, as long as you get the ball to where it needs to be, you know that deep down, hey, I did my job, you were supposed to catch it, or hey, you were supposed to block that guy. Same thing for my running backs. Say you have a terrible offensive line, you can go out there and make a ton of guys miss, you can run over guys, and you can still make a positive impact in the game. Now, let's take a look at wide receiver for a second. Wide receiver is the only position in sports that you can 100% do your job. You could beat your man off the line 100% of the time and make zero impact on helping your team win. But what do I mean by this? Wide receiver is the only position that has two prerequisites before you're even able to make an impact on the game. That is a quarterback talented enough to get you the ball in a catchable area and to have a coach that actually likes to pass the ball. Oh, well, Marcus, couldn't you say that about the running backs? No, because you see at the running back position, normally there's only one running back on the field, meaning that anytime that there's a run play, it's going to you. So, hey, I don't care how pass happy of an offense you have, you're going to run the ball at least 10 times in a game. Meaning that the running back has 10 opportunities to make a positive impact on the field. However, not only is wide receiver the only position that needs two prerequisites before you're able to make a positive impact on the field, but it's also the only other position in sports that has active competition. Meaning that there are 2 to 3 other receivers at any given time that are all trying to fight for the same ball. And this is where the diva mentality comes from for wide receivers. Just imagine working as hard as football players do, which I believe physically is the hardest sport in the world. You're out there doing 2-a-days in the summer heat. A lot of your plays are designed for you to just run off the corner, so you're sprinting 20-30 yards every single play that is not going towards you. Oh yeah, and then when you're finally given an opportunity to go out and make a positive impact on the game, you're not guaranteed to get the ball, even if you do your job and get open. See, this is the messed up part about wide receiver and the reason why I say it's the worst position in sports. Wide receivers work just as hard as everybody else on the football team. However, during a game, they have a very legitimate chance of having zero opportunities to help their team win. And yes, I know it's all about making sure that the team wins, But at the end of the day, you want to do it as a unit. And if you're a part of that unit, especially if you're starting, you want to go out there and have a positive impact yourself. You don't want everybody else doing it, because then you just feel like you're not needed on the field. Now, if you've gotten to this point of the video, I can already hear you guys commenting down below. Obviously, there are exceptions to this. When you look at a guy like Antonio Brown, this dude was leading the league in receptions, target, like lit almost every single receiving category, and yet he was still complaining. Obviously, there are just actual divas that play every position in sports. I would say a majority of the time that receivers show diva tendencies is simply because they're trying to help their team win the best way that they can, which is by catching passes, but they're not given that opportunity. And you want to know what makes matters even worse? What position is known for having the most trash talkers? The corners. So you could go out there knowing that you're better than the corner going up against you, and yet they still don't throw you the ball, and they're just gonna be talking to you all game. Oh man, you're trash. Oh man, they ain't gonna throw you the ball. Yeah, the XYZ. It's gonna drive you crazy. Now there is of course a flip side to this. When you're able to match a talented wide receiver with a talented quarterback and an offensive coordinator who knows how to distribute the ball well to his wide receivers, everything looks very smooth, very professional. Everybody's happy, everybody's getting their touches. Everybody on the field is helping move their team towards winning that game. However, that is not always guaranteed, and especially at the high school ranks, most high schools still have not yet adopted an air raid type offense. I mean, shoot, I would go out on a limb and say that there are more high school offenses that operate off of a triple option or a wing T, which basically says we don't need wide receivers, rather than a pure air raid offense. Oh, but Marcus, you're forgetting that wide receivers can block and that can help their team win. Really? Blocking? Because that's what the wide receivers are known for, is for blocking. Oh, you might as well just call us tight ends then, because then it's like, oh, okay, well, at least he's blocking most of the time and maybe might catch a couple passes here. No, wide receivers are known for catching passes and moving chains, not for blocking on the outside. Now, obviously, when you have a fully functioning system where you're able to get the wide receiver the ball, hey, no problem blocking on the outside, because we're helping move the team, we're helping them win. But when you're just every single play, blocking, running 30 yards downfield to clear out that side of the field, blocking, running 30 yards downfield to clear out that side of the field, it gets very annoying. Now, I'm making this video kind of just a food for thought video. I really want to hear you guys' comments on what you guys think about the wide receiver position, and if you guys agree with my thought point of wide receiver being the worst position in sports, or if you guys think that another position is the worst, or if that there really is no worst position in sports. However, to summarize this whole video, this is the main message of the video. Wide receiver to me is the worst position, because I don't care how talented of a receiver you are. If you don't have a quarterback that can get you the ball, or you don't have a coach that passes the ball, or just doesn't want to pass to you, it doesn't matter how talented you are not going to be able to make an impact on the field, which is going to leave you feeling like you should not even be playing or being on the field. All right, but that's all I have to say today. If you guys like this video, be sure to leave this video a like. Let's get this video to 700 likes. Also, don't forget to comment down below. I want to hear what you guys have to think about this video idea. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications so you guys can stay on top of all the videos that I am coming out with. All right, you guys, with all that being said, hope that y'all have a super blessed rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.